And the prudish kind of Brit in me is slightly nervous about saying some of these things out loud. But I think it could be quite fun in a kind of, immature schoolboy kind of way. My favourite romance trope probably has to be the reluctant romantic. Think Darcy, think Benedict and Beatrice in Much Ado About Nothing. Those characters that are really cynical and hate the idea of being a soppy romantic and yet get drawn into it nonetheless. Am I a romantic at heart? I don't think I'm the one to really be the judge of that. I suppose you'd have to speak to those around me. I'd like to think I am. I don't think I'm soppy, but there's always time for a bit of romance. For an audiobook, that's a different kind of challenge because you're getting into many different characters. So it's a particular challenge to recording an audiobook that you're playing the character of the person who's narrating the story, which is Anthony in my case, and then you're also playing him speaking in the scene in the present tense, but I'm also playing probably about 6 or 7 different characters. So it's about finding the kind of specificity of the way they speak. Hattie is played by Nicola Coughlan, who is fantastic and has a very specific West Irish accent from Galway, I believe. And it's been quite tricky trying to pitch that. It's not an accent I'm hugely familiar with, so throughout the recording of Misdirected, I've been kind of listening to interviews with Nicola. I know everything about her now, to try and kind of keep that kind of tone and musicality in my ear. So yeah, it's been tricky. My favourite part about recording this audiobook, I've really enjoyed the repartee between Hattie and Anthony. They're kind of reluctant, unlikely lovers, I suppose, and that plays out in quite a kind of feisty verbal battle, often of wits, where they're just knocking each other down and kind of enjoying this acerbic kind of vocal foreplay, maybe that's what you'd call it, verbal foreplay. I'm halfway through recording, if I'm brutally honest with you right now, and I have still to record the sex scene, so I'm intrigued to see how that goes. I've never recorded a sex scene, and the prudish kind of Brit in me is slightly nervous about saying some of these things out loud, but I think it could be quite fun in a kind of, immature schoolboy kind of way. There's already been a bit of giggling. They literally got me to say dildos 10 times, and they were like, yeah, okay, do it a different way. And then only after a while did I have the sense to look up and see them giggling. I was like, oh, If I could live in any fictional world, that's a tricky one, because I think a lot of the fiction I read is a bit moody and miserable. I quite like reading things, for some reason, I quite like reading things that make me feel a bit sad and melancholy. I don't know why, maybe there's something cathartic about it, or I don't know, it makes you feel more grateful for what you have or something, but a lot of the literature I read is quite depressing, so I'd rather not be transformed or placed in any of those worlds, to be honest with you. I'm quite happy with where I am. It's tricky because I don't think he's the kind of person that would have a dating bio, because he's so cynical and aloof and above it that he wouldn't even engage, but I'm writing it for him, so I would write a hopelessly pathetic romantic who hates romance and all things soppy, is desperately not looking for love. I suppose when you're on a film set, it's a huge collaboration. There are sometimes hundreds of people on set, but there is something kind of personal to making an audio drama, in the sense that there's just, an engineer, a producer or a director, and the actor in the booth, and there's something quite kind of intimate about that, which is fun, and it's quite thrilling to think that you're responsible for creating the whole thing, whereas I think when you're making an audio drama, you've got to create that whole world, the three of you in the room there together,